Tammy the Machine Robertson. I gave you some eyeballs in your comment section because I was like, who this is? Yeah. Hair flip.
A regular citizen who reports seeing a crime isn't a snitch or a rat. The criminals were just sloppy. Snitches and rats are not the same thing. Let me break it down to make sure y'all see what I mean. A snitch is someone minding other folks' business to find information they can sell for a price or trade for some other form of compensation. A rat is a traitor, a conceiver, planner, or physical participator. He doesn't sell secrets for power or cash. He betrays the trust of his team or his family, hoping to save his own cowardly ass. The difference is, at least a snitch is human, but a rat is a fucking rat. Period.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Tammy. I see while I was away my twin sister Danny has been running amok. Hair flip. I came here today to let you know what is really going on, honey. She really was obsessed with Nosy whole life and wanted to be her best mermaid, but the gag was Nosy didn't care.
They can't compete with women like me.
Hair flip. She spent countless hours recording and screenshotting her ass off just to get the clout her avenging ass lusted for. Hair flip. The basement bitches began to put a monkey wrench in her plans. Now she is making it her business to cyberbully and stalk content creators she doesn't like on these YouTube streets. Anyone who tries to expose her, she has been giving the business. Allegedly, she has been giving Tails the business. She has been giving her the business. She's even been giving Cups of Conversation the business.
Rabbit had went live. She was like, call this number. You know, and so many people called and I can't answer. But she actually went live and she was having people call the number and she would pick up and be like, hi, this is Rabbit. You know, because she knew it wasn't. Yeah, she was like, she had gave her, it was for Tales from the Cold or Tales of the Cold from that lady. But she was saying that, you're not about that life because, you know, you should contact my attorney and, you know, all this stuff. And then come to find out it was a total lie. When she thought she took the audience for the dummies that they were acting like. Because every time Danny or Rabbit lies, every time they lie and then they're not called out on it, that's like a bonus to them. And they're like, look at these dummies. They'll just believe anything that I tell them. Right. And they keep going with it. They just keep going. because when she kept saying call her on that number, I called her on that number. She never said anything like she was going to save the numbers or, nothing like that. And this crazy woman called me back. And when she called me back, I called her on the number and I got the voicemail and she called me back and I said hello. And she asked for Tamika.
I can't.
And Tamika's last name starts with an F because I don't remember exactly what it was, but she asked for her first and last name. And so I said, you have the wrong number. So then I said, this is Rabbit. And she didn't say anything, but she didn't say it was her name or not. So she said something about me being Tamika again. And I told her no, that she had the wrong number. So I hung up.
Something's wrong with your line.
Mine?
What's that noise?
But I was just coming from the dentist's office. So I was driving, but after, I told her it was the wrong number, that she had the wrong number. So then when I had pulled over, I was like, so I called her number back and I asked her, and I knew it was her because she kept answering the phone. Hi, this is Rabbit.
What the fuck?
Whatever. She didn't say Rabbit, but I knew it was her because she had the same voice and everything. And she had called me back.
Oh, for real?
So when I asked her for her, and she verified it was her because I asked her for her attorney's name, that she gave all this information. So what is her attorney's name? So then she said, she accused me of calling for Tamika. And then I said, no, that's not why I was calling her back. I said, I'm a neutral party. I was just calling because I had seen everything that she had put online and this is the number that she had listed. So, I'm a neutral party. I was just trying to get, find out what was going on. So then she started accusing me of calling for being like a rep for Tales from the Cold. And I said, no. She kept saying, oh, you're representing her. You're calling for her. And I said, you keep saying her, but no, I'm not calling for her. I'm just a neutral party. You gave this information, but you didn't give your attorney's name. So, if someone's going to mail something to that address, what is your attorney's name? And she refused to give me the name. So I said, okay, so you're just refusing to give me the name. She said, well, I don't have to give it to you. But she didn't have to get online and give all that information either. She didn't have to go live and give all the fake information.
Fuck shit in the name of fuck shit and the mathing LOLSMHLMAO. Our Auntie Loretta has been doing her dirty work on the low, and as a family we have decided to put Baby Shark in a home. Hair flip. I am on these streets to shine a light on what my sis has been up to and I won't stop until she does. Hair flip. Like, share, comment, stay tuned, and most importantly subscribe.
There's a lot of dirty things. I don't have time to go over the receipts. But I think we need to do that. And let me ask you something else, Rick. Is this why one day you said, I just wish this talk of 2021 just would go away? Like asking people, aren't you tired of hearing about 2021? Why would you be so tired of hearing about 2021 when I don't really of 2021? Because people who have made reference to that, including yourself, it's really talking about me because, of course, I'm the one who has the videos and a lot of receipts from 2020. Yes. And can help put together the pieces. I heard a content creator who made the comment, something about, I didn't know this about Jaguar Light, or I didn't know about surviving you know, Tasha K, and I didn't know this, and I did. It's because a lot of that information no longer exists, except people who have deleted or privated the information. This is important to me because it is the beginning of the story, the big lie that was formulated and people ran with it. And I'm wondering, because someone knows about that on this platform right now. And I think it's more than one person who knows about Tammy the Machine. Because remember, there were only two people who knew about the machine and put it just the way. I wonder who did that. Who shared the information and with whom, and why did she show up to your channel? Your channel. And then why did all of the folks who were from your channel, I'm talking about the key people, good, Amina, is that her name? Amina. I could just show you because I made copies, all right, of my own chat history. And I have your chat history and I have your video. So I could just, just draw a line straight across. How would they know to show up? All of those people who've never come to my channel, including all of those holding up swords. They followed over. What? Because they knew Tammy the Machine was going to show up? And then confusion was started at the end of the video in my chat that would blame me for starting something with Tammy. It was dropped in the chat. A bunch of trolls, a bunch of Avengers. Black Rabbit was over there too, making comments which were kind of interesting about Tammy, what she might do. I didn't know that was her. I never really paid attention. And because this was kind of new, I didn't know all of these handles that people. I wonder how all these folks are linked. Oh. It's connect the dots. Remember what was happening around the same time? The bookings. But before the derailment with trees, right? All of that. They were cool, right? with Black Rabbit, Red Label, and with Danielle, Red Label. And what did they do? They kind of gave you a, like a slap on the wrist or something. It was. And then later everybody kissed and made up. And I was wondering. And should I say allegedly? But then later, a month later, I saw the post had been created. And I've lived with that because people today still say that I'm. Red Label, do you know anything? Any of your group? Why didn't you come over and join everyone in the chat? Or are you going to say you're in the bushes? Because typically you don't, you come out of the bushes and you come into the chat, especially, something like this. Yeah, or maybe it just happened to be one of those nights I. But there's a little bit more. There's some other receipts that might support a theory that I'll get into another night. Or maybe, if you don't want to tell me about that, maybe you'll tell me about this. A comment here, because we'll maybe get into this at some point. Maybe you can, just tell me what you're referring to. I'd like to know. Your comment reads, I don't know why my intuition is telling me, have you thought about it being Teddy? I swear I'm not being messy. You are known for being messy, but I guess maybe you weren't being messy. So what was it? Take a pick. What do you think? Who are you suggesting, of giving someone an impression that it was me about something? You can have your thoughts. You can have your thought. You see, I come with receipts and at least a theory, and I'm going to be, at least connecting some dots and asking questions. But if you're going to, drop something, you see how I can just come out and say red label. Go on your channel and say unwind with Teddy. Can you do it? Because red label, yeah, I've got some receipts. And did you say you were a troll? Did you say that? Didn't you say you were a troll at some point? You see how this is a year for clarity. Yeah. No, I'm just so behind. Yeah. But when I see something or things that I know about, when it's appropriate, I expect it. So that people don't just think I'm picking on somebody, making something. I'm just side eyeing. You can side eye me too. I don't. But when you do come with receipts, because I see the people around who have dropped comments about me too, and I've not said anything about it. And I've seen you up on a panel, laughing with other folks who are talking about me. So, yeah, why don't we just, just because I had this theory for a long time, I just haven't really talked about it. Right. Yes. And I've said to you, yeah, see, that's how I'm. I just come out so people know who I'm talking about. And because there are folks on this planet who have taken things and run wild for years. So, before I get into that. Not tonight because it's late. So I thought I'd give maybe you a choice or throw it out, for a couple of folks. Maybe they'll see it. Hmm. Can you tell me about it? Again, this just underscores for me what I brought up in the past and why it's important. Maybe to go back, connect dots, especially when my reputation or name has been smeared by some. Because maybe that story will finally get told without bits and pieces or strikes. Because I see the links, I see groups. Remember, when I made that one, it was with place. I couldn't figure it out. People doing things and with Dan Robertson. Even though they said, well, they didn't understand their role at the time, or they knew that went on, but they, even though they could see or hear that something wasn't true, I didn't speak. But maybe it will jar me. How about this? Maybe it was a good thing. I don't know. But it just is kind of interesting because you put, I swear I'm not being messy. So it must have been something that you were referring to in your intuition that would have been perceived as being messy because you needed to clarify. Remember when I said people drop things and it's subtle? Maybe I'll show a few more these things and tie it together for my audience this year. So, any questions, any comments, any suggestions? You can email me at UNWINEWITHTEDDY. Oh, yeah. I have several of these from that night in 1 I never paid attention. I made, copies. I just pulled up one. But Black Rabbit was there. And so was Valerie. She's a swordsman. And by the way, Valerie and Black Rabbit were in communication within 7 days of Daniel Robertson landing the mothership. And how I know that is Black Rabbit responded to Valerie in post because Valerie was trying to give her some information about Danny Robertson. And Black Rabbit said, I already know. So all of these folks, they've been around just what she said. I'm shocked how some of you are promoting too. I thought you ride for Dan. Yes, I was wrong. Surprised you are promoting for Dan. Subtle hints, man. Nothing like a girl's. Fair use commentary. Remember, people say a teddy don't have receipts. Theories. If I have a theory, I'm going to also show you. And then let you decide. Just go ahead. Clear the air. You can help me. What you do? All right. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out. Join me sometime tomorrow. We're missing nothing. And maybe we will. That's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy.